Welcome, everyone, to the 22nd episode of the Boss Key Podcast. I am your co host, McQuack306, joined as always with Jebby G. What's up, Jesse?
Hey, Jesse Pergroso, Jebby G here. Actually, just a second ago, I just realized, you know how this is like episode 22?
Yeah.
And we about to enter the year 2022?
Yeah. Happy New Year's, everyone! This is our New Year's special, our New Year's episode for the week. I hope everyone had a
Welcome to 2022.
I hope everyone had a great 2022 New Year's party or whatever you guys did to ring in the new year. Again, like previously stated in the last two episodes, we are pre-recording all these episodes ahead of time so that we don't we just spend the time with our loved ones and friends and stuff like that. So
And plans and everything else we gotta do to get through the holidays.
yeah, so we're speaking from the past, speaking about the future, but acting as if it's the present. Really weird.
Yeah.
However we want to explain it, but hope everyone did have a great New Year's going into 2022. It's a new year. Everybody has things they want to accomplish, things that they are looking forward to.
The resolution times.
That's
The New Year's resolution time.
Yeah, it's a new year, new me, right?
New year, new me, 2022.
Everyone has those. We wanted to do one as well. Look back on gaming 2021 in a way, and then also especially what we look forward to in this year and beyond, in terms of gaming and announcements. Jesse, where would you like to start? Do you want to look back on what game from 2021 or even before that you actually want to finish or start for 2022?
Uh, Unfortunately, I have a huge list of games I want to finish starting from 2021.
Don't we all?
Don't we all? This is the infamous backlog that, just like a backlog of books I have a backlog of games I have as well. One thing that I definitely am going to take away from 2021. Number one, we started this podcast in the first place.
Yes.
So that's going to be my our biggest accomplishment that we have done in the year. That is amazing, and I've already had gaming in my heart forever, but this podcast rekindled the gaming because now I'm sharing the experiences more with the fans, with you, and our stories, and realizing how good or how bad this game was, or whatever the game topic is. It just rekindled it again, and it's just something that I'm very excited to talk about all the time, and it rekindled me wanting to complete the backlog of the games that I have here that I've wanted to play all the time. Of course, I know I've talked about it a billion times, but the Doom Eternal expansions were amazing when I played those, when I completed those. The Tetris Effect was an amazing game at the time. I got Hades in 2021. I know it came out the year before, but I finally got Hades in 2021, and that was an amazing game that I haven't reached all the way to the end yet, but I'm still fighting my way up there. I have like a list of games that I completed. I'm just gonna round them off really, really fast so I don't talk about each one. But like Catherine, I want to finally finish Metroid Dread. I want to finish Blood, an old school FPS shooter. I want to finish BioShock 2 and Infinite because I played 1 and I loved it. About to finish Conker's Bad Fur Day, which is something that I've been wanting to finish. Res Evil 3, Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, DMC, which is the Devil May Cry series that I love the Devil May Cry series, and DMC is actually good, even though they redesigned Dante. I loved it.
I really like that one too.
I did. The gameplay and everything's fantastic on it. It's still good. Some people are just so purist about the Dante that they wanted and everything. I know it doesn't look like him, but you know what? They try to go with something new. Then they released Devil May Cry 5, and they brought back the old Dante. Whatever. They decided to bring them back. Um, those are just games that I have like on my list along with stuff that has been coming out. So I have to somehow get out of like the multiplayer mindset sometimes, and I have to I gotta go back into the log, but it's hard. It's tough because sometimes I'll throw in Halo as an example. That's a monkey wrench that throws in everyone's backlog. Like Halo player, just gets in there. It's free. You can play it. Like there's not even a barrier. Like it's
Yeah.
free, and it's just there. And then another game that I love too that I actually do want to complete the campaign for. I know Call of Duties have the campaigns, but I actually did buy Cold War, and I do want to complete the campaign at some point. But then I gotta get out of that multiplayer aspect.
Yeah.
I gotta move out of the way of it. But that's a bit of my backlog that I have gaming wise. And of course, I want to try every single thing that you've already talked about on the show. Of course, I want to try Guardians of the Galaxy, and I want to try
Yes.
this. I want to get that, and like the price wise and everything. Of course, I could find it at lesser prices in the future or right now at this moment. But with the move out, it's just been a little bit more difficult to play more games right now. But I'm telling you, like I said in maybe the past episode, when the setup is ready, it's gonna be glorious. But that's my backlog of like what I'm trying to do. So how about you, man? How was your man? You've had a lot. You've accomplished a lot of games from what I've seen in your past for 2021. So what else new or what do you want to try to do for from 2021? You want to continue on?
Yeah, I was when I was researching my own stuff and looking back at 2021, I actually completed a lot of games this year, and I think more than any other year in a long time. I think also um, social media helped because I was just more into social media this year than any other year,
Mm-hmm.
and it got me to. I have a lot of mutuals that would show gameplay. I'm like, man, I do need to play this. I do need to finish this, um, and I'm glad that I did because I did experience a lot of games like you mentioned Guardians of the Galaxy. Um, and then we'll go more into depth in the following up episode because we will have a game of the year discussion. Um, However, we tackle that, we may not even have like, oh, this is our game of the year. This is the Boss Key Podcast game of the year, but more so, here are the games of the year. Here are the games that we want to recognize. But Guardians of the Galaxy, finished that one, loved it, and I have actually a couple that I didn't finish this year that I actually want to finish for next year, and I'm surprised that I have so little. I know I was going through the Mass Effect series for the first time, and I got through the first and second, and I'm like about halfway through the third, so that's gonna be one that I do want to complete in 2022. I was able to finish the Halo Infinite campaign. I finished it last
Nice.
week. So it took me about a week to finish that campaign,
Mm-hmm.
and I loved it. But there's a Near Replicant. It's a RPG action game. That one I do want to complete and finish. Tales of Arise, another game that I've
Sure.
talked about. I want to finish that one. A
But
lot
you
of
haven't, oh, I thought you did finish that one. You didn't
no,
finish that one yet? Okay.
no, it's very difficult for me to finish a JRPG just because when I get into a JRPG, I want to do everything and I want to get everything. And it's one of those like if it's a shooter, I'll just finish the campaign. If it's like an action game, I just want to finish the campaign. But RPGs is like, oh, I want to get that weapon. Ooh, that's a cool armor set. I want to get
Mm.
that armor set for my character and stuff like that, or leveling up. As you heard from me fighting Sephiroth at level 90. um,
Beating him in like several hits.
yeah,
Just a couple and you're done.
but the Near Replicant, the Tales of Arise, those two are my main games that I want to go into 2022 and finally finish, as well as Mass Effect 3.
Okay.
Those three are going to be my main focus points for completing. But those are the 2021 games. I have been going back into the Xbox 360 days just because of how excellent Xbox has been doing. I've been collecting more 360 titles,
I
and
saw.
I did pick up Lost Odyssey. That one I do want to complete in 2022. I heard, so many good things about this JRPG that is published by Microsoft, but we never got a sequel. and I've played the first hour, and it's probably the best hour of any JRPG I've ever played. So
Wow.
Lost Odyssey, I want to go through that. Several Xbox 360 titles. I know Eternal Sonata is one that I
Mhm.
heard that I recently ordered online. That should be coming in the mail in about a week.
Mhm.
I also picked up Homefront,
Okay.
the original Homefront. I don't know if you ever played that one,
Mhm.
but played it on the PS3, but want to finish it on the 360.
There you
Um,
go.
so those are my current backlog. Those are the games that I want to finish or start up and
Yeah.
complete alongside all the other games that are coming out that we'll talk about right now that are
You
coming
know
out in
what?
2022.
I'm actually gonna throw in one more. I'm gonna complete. I'm gonna complete the Stick of Truth. Remember the one I
Oh,
bought from
South
the
Park,
Gaming Guy?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it looks great on my Series X, and it looks great on the Series X. And I am gonna complete that one as well. That'll be my RPG that I'm gonna be completing at the
Okay.
time. That'll be my version of the RPG. And I keep remembering like when I played it right before I did the official move, like right when I had only the Xbox and the TV connected.
Yeah.
It was you're playing a literal South Park episode. It's right there. You and TV and video game world, at least in South Park sense, is seamless. Like it just looks like an episode of South Park.
Yeah,
It's
it
the episode
does.
of South Park. It's so good. Like it's just you're living your world of South Park, your dream of South Park. That's it. It's seamless. It's done. Like you can't you can make your own episode of South Park. That's a game there, and dude, I'm looking forward to more game conventions with you, sir, and trying to pick up some
Yes.
more stuff, like how we did right before the end of the year.
That was really fun.
Um, that was legit. That was a good spot, and I gotta coordinate now differently because now I don't live right there anymore.
Oh
I
yeah.
gotta, I gotta. We'll plan it ahead, but maybe like gaming expos are gonna start opening up again, so can rock those. Frankensons is a very popular place that still opens up every once in a while. We go, and I'm ready for that for the new year. I'm ready to continue experiencing gaming forever for ourselves and for the podcast.
So I'm guessing that's one of your resolutions for the year for in terms of
That
gaming.
That is, it is absolutely 100% because it's delving into something that has always been with me and something that I've always loved, and now I have a bigger purpose with it with the podcasts. It's amazing, and it's something that I want to share with the masses of the advancements of gaming, what was great then, what was innovative back then that shaped the future. Gaming has done a lot in a lot of people's lives, social wise, non-social wise, stress wise. Like gaming is just a beautiful thing. I'm just glad to share again experiences and what's new that's coming out, what's exciting, what's innovative, and sometimes have to call the stuff that's not great and innovative. It's like, like what are you doing? Like, no, like kids are not gonna like this, or
Yeah.
that's a step back. You have to be critical too, because that's how people get better or improve. Like that's how it changes. Um, and also my other resolution in regards to gaming is I want to really, I don't know how hard this is going to be, but I got to remain focused on one game at a time. Like I have to actually go to the point. I'm a very big, easily distracted person if other things are all over the place. I don't know. Like I'm not diagnosing myself with anything. I don't. I'm not a doctor, so I can't. I'm not gonna say I have this attention, this or that. But as far as like I need to be in the hounding, honing in focus to do that. So I'm gonna use one example of like Catherine, finishing that, the story and everything. So like if I'm gaming, I just need to use like play Catherine because I know I'm gonna have fun with it, but I just gotta play it. But that's really hard when there's a whole world of like games out there.
Hmm.
But if you don't focus, like take this in with life as well. Everyone who listens to this, if you really gotta want something or want to do something, you really gotta put in the focus if you can, or keep your focuses in what you're doing to the prime objective or prime goal that you're doing. Because sometimes when you try to break off into too many tasks at one time, you get a lot of half done things, but nothing ever gets like fully done.
Yeah.
So I'm taking that aspect in regards to gaming too. Like, if you keep breaking it off into too many things, you ain't gonna complete much. You're gonna have a lot of half completed things. And oh, I'm on my Resident Evil 3 file, like 20 minutes in. Okay, great. But then I'm gonna switch over to Halo. Oh, okay, I'm 18 minutes in, and then you're gonna have a bunch of minutes in and a bunch of things. Yeah, your time's gonna look great. You spend like 10 hours a game, but it's 10 hours across 10 different games. So it's like those hours could have been like completed. Again, this is everyone's preference. If you really want to complete it, or if you don't care, you don't care. Doesn't matter. Do what you want to do. But in focusing everything, I take that in I take that as a real big solid advice. When you want to do something, you got to put in the focus in it and avoid distractions if you can.
Yeah, I'm very similar. That's on mine as well. Just trying to focus on one specific game, or put more preference, or more importance on one game, because I'm like that. I like to play whatever strikes the mood. Sometimes I want to go into a racing game. Sometimes I want a shooter. And even then, the shooter is like, oh, sometimes I want to just jump into Destiny and play some PVE versus PvP stuff, or Halo. Like I was talking earlier about Halo, and I checked my time, and I'm about 52, 53 hours in, within, the I think in a month. And I think sometimes, like, man, those 52, 53 hours could have been spent on another game that I could have probably finished, or five games that are only 5 hours long. And oh, I like that you said the Call of Duty campaign; those are typically 5 to 7 hours tops. You
Yep.
know, that's a game. And
Total.
yeah,
Yeah.
total. And I can think, oh, in that same time, I could have completed, seven Call of Duty type games. But in my mind, also, I do have fun. I do
Yeah.
have fun playing the Halo multiplayer, and the single player was finished, so I was able to at least remove that. But especially with JRPGs, I do want to focus a lot more. The three main ones, like I said, Near Replicant, Tales of Arise, and also Lost Odyssey. Lost
Nice.
Odyssey is my main one because I've heard so many good things, and I played the first. I've already played about 5 hours of it,
Okay.
sporadically. But I think in 2022, that's gonna be my title. Is like, oh, I'm playing this, especially like before the main titles hit, that we'll talk about soon. But yeah, just focusing on lesser games,
Mhm.
as opposed to, I'd rather focus on three games within 1 week as opposed to the usual 15 games, that
That's
distract me.
a lot. Those backlog categories are nuts.
Yeah.
There's so many. And I'll tell you one thing. Looking at a Steam page right now, I opened up my Steam page already,
Uh huh.
and there's already like, oh, look at this category. Like I'm hovering my mouse over like so many games that I have, and I'm like, which one do I want? Oh, I want to jump into Turok. Oh, I want to jump into Pac-Man. I want to jump into Catherine. Oh, I want to jump into Blood. It's hard. It's hard to say because like this is big old colorful wall I have here of of different games that I can play. And then Xbox Game Pass comes in and there's a whole
Yeah.
colorful wall right there of games that oh you can play right now, you can do this. Um I think maybe I should put like a schedule. Like, hey, this is the time I have set for like multiplayer gaming, and this is the time I have set for whatever single player campaign I want to play, or something like that. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, that's an idea. I haven't fully fleshed that out yet, but that don't sound like a bad idea.
I think on my side, I was gonna do a change to my dash on my Xbox, because on my Xbox main page dashboard, I have
Mhm.
like, I want to say 12, 13 different games being shown off, as my
Uh-huh.
main ones, that I like to bounce between. And I think I'm just gonna change it up this time. I think I'll have 3 to 5 titles shown
Mhm.
up, so that when I do turn on my Xbox, boom, they're there. Those are the titles that are immediately shown, as opposed to, you have 5 options as opposed to 20 options. You're more focused on, oh, I have
Mhm.
my shooter, I have my
Mhm.
racing, and I have my RPGs. Which one should I go for? Oh, you know what? That Tales of Arise looks pretty cool. I'll
Yes.
follow through. Let me see how far I can get. Maybe I can get to the boss battle or something like that.
There you
Um,
go.
so just try new techniques. Maybe stay off of sales pages because I'm prone to like
Yes.
I'm prone
Oh, oh,
I'm prone to jump on a
good.
sale and see, ooh, $5 for this game that is probably like 40 hours, but I probably won't even start because by the time it's downloading, I'm playing Halo and getting the weekly challenges. Something like that. I'm looking at, like I said, I'm looking at I'm looking at an Xbox page, and I'm seeing, Jump Force, the Ultimate Edition that is normally $100. It's $15. You get the fighting game plus all the DLC that it ever came out with for less than $20, and that's tempting. I see all these games. Oh, this is 80% off. This is 80% off. You want this DLC for Doom Eternal that's normally $30, but right now it's 750. It's 750. That's the type of stuff that I need to, be careful of
I
because
I need to join you on that. I'm stealing that one from you too. I need to stay away from sale pages. I need to stay away from Steam special pages. I gotta stay away. I got to. I have to. I agree.
yeah,
Because that happens every time.
because the deals are so good. The deals are so good and they're
Yes.
so enticing, and you're thinking to yourself like, damn, like there's one I'm not too keen on it. It's Kingdom Hearts, the collection for $15 on Xbox when it's normally $60, and that comes with like 6 games.
Oh, collection 15
It's
bucks?
like $15, and you're thinking to yourself like, that's a lot of gaming.
That's
Each
a lot of hours.
each Kingdom
That's
Hearts
a
is at
lot of.
least at least 20 to 25 hours if you just go straight to it.
Oh man, do I want it? Now I'm
See?
thinking about it. I'm like, do I want that
Oh,
now?
I'm
But
sorry.
oh, it's all of them. No.
Hey, you know what
admit
though?
it. How dare you?
Here's the bad side of me. You know what, Jesse? It's not 2022 yet. It's not 22.
Oh, you're right. So I should buy it right now. I should,
Yeah.
I should get it right now. I
At
should.
the time of
I
recording,
should.
it's not 2022 yet.
You're
So
right.
so
I should get it.
throw all
Oh
those bad stuff away as
no.
soon as the new year starts. No, I'm just kidding.
So technically, if I get it now, I didn't break my resolution, quote
Exactly.
unquote. Oh,
It's
that's
like
bad,
it's
man.
like
That's not good.
it's like that last meal. Like, oh, I'm gonna start dieting tomorrow, but today I'm gonna have that triple dog cheeseburger with extra bacon and that large diet coke. But
Ooh, everyone, this is my
tomorrow,
favorite burger of all time. Double Western bacon cheeseburger from
Carl's.
Carl's.
Yes.
Yes, that's a bomb burger. My diet starts tomorrow because I'm eating that burger. All right, I know this is since we just mentioned like burgers. I have like a 2-second story about a burger that I just got recently before visiting my girl.
Uh-huh.
I kept seeing like football commercials, and I saw football commercials. And in between the football commercials, they were showing the Western bacon cheeseburger, the regular one.
Yeah.
And goodness sake, fine. I decided to go get it before I got at the drive-through before I went to my girl's house.
Oh
So
wow.
I got it, dude. Okay, it's my childhood favorite burger.
Yeah.
The flavor just hits you. So the powerful thing about the story is I got it and I got my drink, and when I left and I was eating it, I bit into like 2 patties, and I got a double for the price of a single.
How?
Dude. I got and I was looking at my receipt just to make sure I paid for a single. I'm all like,
Oh,
I
they
said,
did it wrong.
they did it wrong. I'm all like, did I pay?
Oh.
I'm all like, did I say double in my order? No, I didn't. I could have sworn I said single.
It was meant to
And
be,
then,
man.
and then I looked, and lo and behold, it was a double.
That
And
was
I was
a-
like, this is either fate saying I don't eat enough or something like that, or but I just wanted to throw that in quick burger story because that really just happened.
That was
like,
fate.
Just
That was
just a couple days ago.
that was fate, man.
But my diet starts tomorrow. You know all that stuff. But yes, but yeah, I'm actually gonna throw that resolution in there because actually during this year I did a resolution of gaming. Unless it was like a brand new release title, if it's an older game,
Mhm.
I said I'm only gonna buy it if it's 50% off or more.
Yeah, I usually stick to that
So
too.
yeah, so 50% off or more. But of course, the newest games are not going to be like that. But sometimes they have sales later.
Yeah.
But if it's like a brand new game that I'm really trying to sink my teeth into, then I'll just get it. But if it's like an older game, like if I'm looking at like a Yu-Gi-Oh game, I'm just going to throw an example. If it's more than 50% off, then it'll be like fair go for me to get it. But no, I actually got to stay away from sales pages because my backlog just keeps growing from the stupid sale pages. It grows for no reason. And it grows. Well, there is a reason because the games are amazing. But games are amazing overall. But like it just grows when I shouldn't grow it. Like maybe like something should be like I need to complete blank amount of games before I even consider buying a new game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
I did that for a little bit. I did that this year actually because I was saving up for a wedding that I'm getting married on the 15th of January, and
congratulations, sir.
thank you. I was for I think I did it for 3 months. I did a challenge for myself. 3 months, don't buy a game. Not even if it's physical, if it's $1, whatever it is, don't buy a game. And it actually lasted to 2 months, 2 and a week, something like that. I think what broke me eventually was the near replicant, which no, not it wasn't near replicant. That was the last game that I got before I started it. It was Mass Effect. Mass Effect was the one that broke it, and I'm glad that it did because it was a great game for it. But I think that's a good one for me, and it sounds like good
Question,
for you too.
yeah, question on the Mass Effect. So, because I know it's on Game Pass as well.
The
Like
original,
the original 360s are on Game Pass.
right?
And sometimes I know this is breaking our rule of sales, but again, this is still 2021 and recording. But sometimes the Mass Effect Legendary Edition keeps coming out on sale. So, would you recommend? Is there something big enough for me that I should get it better from the Legendary, or should I be cool just playing it on my Game Pass version?
Now, for me, I've only really played the Legendary Edition,
Oh,
but from
okay.
what I've played, it's amazing, and from what I've heard, it's it's the definitive edition to play. It is
Okay.
it's not one of those like, oh, they messed this up. No, it actually does enhance
Not the
and
thought
improve everything. Yeah, it does improve everything on it. So, and I've seen it as low, I think recently for $20 on PC, for the Legendary
Yeah, I
Edition.
saw it on sale, but I keep thinking about like, oh, but I already have it on Game Pass. Like that's what I think. Like
Yeah.
it's already on Game Pass. But I think that one I'd rather get it on console because I want to play it on 4K.
Yeah, and you haven't played it,
Yeah.
right? You've never played Mass
No, I
Effect?
never, I never, I never played any. I've never played any Mass Effects yet.
That's a game where
So
I think if you find it for $30, I mean it's all relative to your budget, but it's one of those games that if you think about it, $30 for 3 games, that's $10 a game.
steal. It is. It
And
is. It's a steal.
I
It's
know,
good.
but this is what I'm saying, that we have an issue with this because we psych ourselves into it. It's like, oh, let me see one that I was looking at. Oh, Castlevania collection for $15 right now on Xbox. That's that's like $3 a game.
Yup. But
I'll
we have
buy it.
that's a bunch of games to complete though.
Yeah, it's a bunch of
Uh,
games to complete, but that, like I said earlier, the Kingdom Hearts, that's like 6 games for
mm,
$15. That's like $2.10 or something like that for each game,
mm.
and it's like over 20 hours per game. So it's one of those that we psych ourselves into buying, and then we eventually just not end up playing it. Um,
Like
but
don't touch it again for like a while and like we must complete. We must complete more games.
yeah, so that's my New Year's resolution. Um, but speaking of just what we kind of hinted at, the games that we were actually excited for, that the games that we want to play day one, the games that we can no longer wait for, even though we have to wait for. Um, I think on the top of the list for me, I don't know if it will come out this year, but the game that I am hyped up for is Breath of the Wild 2.
Yes, that was also on a list of mine as well. Breath of the Wild, of course, is another game I need to finish as well. But still, from what I've played already from Breath of the Wild 1, Breath of the Wild 2, they never officially announced that it was going to be coming out on 2022,
Correct.
right? So we got to wait to see if it will. But I hope it does come out too, because people are waiting for this one. They are. chomping at the bit.
Yeah, especially with Nintendo. I mean, Nintendo had a good 2021 and ended off strong with Dread. I feel like from the announced titles, this is like their main one. Besides some other ones that they've said, like Bayonetta, um, and I think there's another Mario and Rabbids game coming out soon as
There
well.
is.
But in terms of either that, it's Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, and I love the first one, and I just want more of that. And it's been on top of my list for most anticipated game. That's one of the games that I'm looking forward to, and hopefully it does release this year. This year. Do you have any like main game that you're like, this is the one I want? This is day one for me.
So, day one for me, for right now, one of the ones that keep getting pushed back, day one for me is still Advance Wars 1 and 2
Yes.
Reboot Camp. God, come out already, man. Advance Wars was sweet. And I want to play it on my Switch already. So I am ready for that one. That's the one I'm waiting for. I know it's a re-release of an original game, but it was a great game. It was fantastic. This strategy battle was not too much better there. It was like one of the best ones on my Game Boy Advance at the time and the DS.
Hmm.
Um, that one I'm waiting for. Day one, we'll buy it on digital or digital or physical, whichever one they decide to release that at. I hope physical. I hope they do have a physical, or might as well maybe Rerun Games will release it physical. We'll see.
Yeah.
Um, or it is going to be a physical release. Um, and the one that I'm excited for, because I know King of Fighters 15 is coming out next year. That's the next in the SNK fighting game series that's coming out. But the one I want to hear an announcement for, I don't think it's going to come out next year, but I'm waiting for the next NetherRealm fighting game to be announced. It will be next year because they didn't do it during the Game Awards, so everyone thought they might have, but they didn't. I'm waiting to see if either Mortal Kombat 12 or Injustice 3, because those are the next two in line. And they've never defined, usually it should be Injustice 3. But rumors have popped out that it might be Mortal Kombat 12. They might just continue the Mortal Kombat trend already and just go again.
Yeah.
Um, or or I want them to announce Street Fighter 6 already. Everyone is waiting for that game, Street Fighter 6. But right now, because of the way how a lot of games are now, they are milking them as much as they can with all the DLC content they keep releasing. DLC, 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 new characters and everything keep coming up. So they don't need to make a new iteration right away. They can take however long they want. They can just keep the same game, but I guess it's cheaper to just keep making DLC for it, which I understand. But I'm really excited for a new fighting game from a more familiar franchise to me,
Yeah.
which would be one of these two games. And the thing I really like about a new fighting game is right now, like if you try to get into a fighting game at this moment in time, like let's say if you wanted to play Street Fighter 5 now, like in today's time, you want to go online, and you want like some online competition, um, you're gonna run into a lot of people that have already so many like new years in their belt.
Yeah.
So you might get hammered if you don't practice, or you don't, or if you haven't practiced for hours or days or months beforehand. But the difference is when you get into a fighting game that's new, even for pro players and new players alike, the pro players are still going to have a bit of an advantage because they know some
They know
techniques
mechanics and stuff like
they know
that.
mechanics and stuff a little bit more, but it's still a new game. So you got a better shot at a new game versus a game that's already been out for 7 years.
Yeah.
And some people have had 7 years of practicing this one game already.
Or like the new
Um,
Mortal Kombat 11 is now on Game Pass. Recently
yeah,
put up, and it's one of
sweet.
those like everybody's gonna be like, oh, now I get to play Mortal Kombat 11,
Good
and
luck on the online
yeah,
aspect. You're
and
gonna get clobbered.
they get
Like,
clobbered online, and they're like, damn.
I'm over it. They get them like in a single combo or whatever. It's like I'm over it. Which I'm still glad that it came out on Game
Yeah,
Pass. It
of
was actually a
course.
real big surprise on me because now a lot of people get to play it. So if you keep it local, great. There are some players that you'll be able to match with on the same online level. So it's not doom and gloom always. It's not always doom and gloom when you play online. They'll try to match you up with people who are still beginners and whatnot. Um, but that is the next series that I'm actually the next type of game that I'm waiting for too. Another game that I'm really waiting for is hopefully I'll have a PS5 by then. God of War Ragnarok is going to look amazing. That's probably one of
Yeah.
the most requested games up there. That's going to be up there. Um, we don't need to go too far into that. God of War, the next continuation. Fat Thor is gonna be the thing. Um, and something else I hope that happens too, which really will jump me into a PS5 even more so. I want to see that. I want to see a new Twisted Metal. I keep
Yes.
hearing that Twisted Metal is gonna come out with something new, and I don't hear see it.
I think because
But
the
I'm excited
show
for it.
that there's a show being made for under like behind Twisted Metal, and I think that's why the
Oh.
rumors are like, hey, they're doing The Last of Us, and they're
Mm.
also remaking The Last of Us One. I think there's
Uh,
gonna be a remake of Twisted Metal, or at least a reboot of the
now
franchise.
I want to play Twisted Metal Black all over again. I need to dust off a PS2 and play that again.
Well, it's on PS4.
Oh, it is. I can get that back. I can get the backwards compatible version, right?
The digital download, yeah, I think it's like $10 or $15. I think.
Oh, well. Technically, I completed this game already, so I could just jump in for fun.
Yes.
So, it's not another game to complete.
No, it doesn't add.
But
It doesn't add to the backlog.
yeah, it doesn't add to the backlog. It's something more for personal preference
Yeah.
to keep it. Oh, just the music already from that game. Oh, now you got me all Twisted Metal out. Now I'm just thinking about Twisted Metal all the time. I'm probably gonna watch YouTube videos when I'm done with this about Twisted Metal Black.
There's
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for.
there's a game that I'm looking forward to that's not like I don't think a lot of people talk about like your God of Wars and your Horizons and stuff like that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge.
Whoa, what kind of game is this?
Oh, you haven't heard of it?
No.
So think of the old school arcade beat 'em ups, but today modernized, 4 player.
Not a remake.
It's not a remake. It's like a new game,
It's a whole new idea.
but it has look it up. Look it up. It has like art style like arcade, but cleaned up. Um, it looks really cool. They had announced it this year, 2021, and it's set for next year. It doesn't have a set release date. It just set for next year, but it's pretty cool. I think even April O'Neil is playable.
Oh.
And maybe Splinter as well. But I'm so hyped for this game.
Oh, you can throw the foot soldiers like you did in the Super
Yes.
Nintendo one. Oh, wait. Is this only coming out on the Switch?
No, it's on all platforms, I believe.
On all platforms? Okay, because I'm looking at the Nintendo one. I'm looking at the Nintendo website. But it's coming out on all platforms. Gnarly game design, take you back to the 80s. Full color Pixar. Old school gameplay. What?
Yeah, I mean,
Iconic. Radical. Really? They use the word radical?
I mean, come on.
Radical new story mode and totally bored.
So it's coming out Nintendo Switch, PC, and other consoles in 2022. I'm guessing they have it may be exclusive timed on Switch, but for me, I have them all. I have all platforms. It doesn't matter where it goes. I'll go to that platform. But yeah,
I actually like the designs of these turtles. That's not bad.
right. It's.
That looks-
I mean, it's really cool. When I saw it, I'm like, okay, I want this now.
No, I actually like the rock. I like the rock steady design they have here too. I'm looking at rock steady right now. He's like holding on to the eggs or whatever he's holding on to. That's legit. And then they're fighting in the building. And April O'Neil, you said it's playable.
Yeah.
Is that a first?
I don't know if it's a first. It feels like it's a first. I don't remember her being playable in any other game.
Oh, it's those tiny annoying robots on the wheels again.
There you go. That's
The
one of
one
my. This is one of my games that I'm hyped for. It's not a big game. It's not like a AAA. Look at these high intensive 4K graphics, 120 frames. It's this little game beat 'em up that calls back to my childhood.
They're inspiring all this from the 1987 TV show.
Yeah.
They're taking everything. Wow. Okay. Damn, I might have to. Okay, I'm still liking the fighting. The fighting game I still want first, but I still want this. That looks legit. That looks really sweet. Oh wow. Oh wow. You surprised me, sir. That's a you surprised me with that one. That is a very good pick.
Yeah.
2020.
And then yeah, that's 2022. And then like my last game that I'm really excited for that, it's also not in the mainstream right now. I guess is Splatoon 3 for the Switch. I love Splatoon 2. It's a great family shooter, and I feel like Splatoon 3 is gonna be like better than
It's
ever,
still
bigger.
pretty. Splatoon's still pretty popular, right?
Yeah, it's popular. It's just it's since it's like an exclusive like Nintendo. It does. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it's especially a multiplayer online game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it gets that much recognition as much as your CODs, your Halos, uh,
No.
your Battlefield, stuff like that. So it's not definitely it's not a small game. It's pretty big fan base behind it. But
Mm-hmm.
I love Splatoon, and that's also on there for my most anticipated games of 2022.
Awesome. Oh, and then you can pick up Grand Theft Auto 5 again on on PS5 or Xbox Series X if you want it. That's coming out in March. You can do that again, but no, don't worry, I'm not waiting for that. We already talked about that in the 360 episode.
I'm good with that. I've been
Yeah.
Grand Theft
Thank
Auto
you.
5 now.
Thank you. I've done that. You just released 6 already. Like just make 6 already, wherever the heck location it's gonna be. Um, and then other ones that not saying like I'm gonna get day one, but that's gonna come out from great franchises. Hopefully, Bayonetta 3 gets released right there. 1 and 2, fantastic. Marvel's Midnight Suns, that was the one with the different designed Marvel heroes. Ghost Rider was in it, which of course I love all the dang time. Ghost Rider and anything. Um, yeah, those are the ones that, at least from the get-go, are 2022 games that can't wait for, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, and you hear that? That's the boss pick of the week segment. And this week, I believe it's Jesse's turn. Jesse, which boss did you pick for this week for us to look back on with smiles and glee?
Smiles and glee. You're looking at me through that camera, sir. You know, I'm excited. Yes. So I wanted to go back in time again with this boss, and I wanted to pick with someone that's very, very familiar to a lot of people. In my opinion, this boss is a boss that I feel 9 out of 10 people are gonna know who he is in the game, either in the gaming community or sometimes in the non-gaming community. Like maybe they played their first video game ever when they were younger, and they remember this person, this creature at the time from just playing the original game. Um, I'm sorry, my man, it is a Mario game, and I know we know how we love our Mario's here. At least I'm a big Mario fan here, to let everyone know. I do love, but I'm actually gonna give this to what I consider one of the OG. Like if there was like a pantheon or like a Mount Rushmore of like bosses or something, he would be on there. And I'm gonna go with Bowser.
Bowser, okay.
I'm gonna go with Bowser, the Koopa King, King Koopa, the fire-breathing nemesis, gigantic turtle, spike-shelled nemesis of Mario for all time since Super Mario Brothers. The reason why I say everyone knows this boss is anyone who's played Super Mario Brothers back in the day, you know what that final boss was. It was the fire breathing. He was known mostly as King Koopa at the time, more.
Yeah.
So you remember jumping over him, getting the axe, destroying the bridge. That's how you beat him. He's a lot of people's first boss. He's a lot of people's first ever boss. Um, he was one of my first bosses ever. His iconic design is just now um, the perfect gigantic reptilian being to take on the Italian plumber. Shigeru, you came up with an amazing design for a final boss for Mario. His nemesis, his big, beastly imposingness is always there, no matter what you're doing. As they even do it in small detail in the original games because he's one of those monsters you cannot jump on his head and kill him.
Yeah.
Can't jump on him. Can't do that. You have to do other methods. And he's always a little bit bigger than you, but the more specific one, the boss encounter that I remember the most, the Super Mario World one was good too, but I wasn't a huge fan of the clown copter. I wasn't a big fan of the floating clown copter, him tossing his minions down to you, which is a future boss trope. The boss tosses down the thing that kills him to you
Yeah.
to give him the weapon. Just imagine if like the game, the AI can think, if I don't throw him anything, he can't kill me, so I'm just gonna be up here forever. Like all that stuff. He won't kill me.
Let the time go down.
Let the time run out. But anyways, so not so much there. But the one that I remember the most is from Super Mario 64, which is Mario's first foray into the 3D.
Hmm.
And that was the first time you experienced Bowser in his big form. That's when you first notice him how big he is compared to Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, how gigantic of a presence he is. Now, 1996 graphics. This is amazing! You look at it today. Oh my god, he's a blocky, puffy looking like
That's
creature.
not Bowser.
That's not Bowser. It's like a cuddly looking Bowser, whatever. But at the time, again, at the time, that was one of the most memorable battles of 3D I've ever had. Because he's imposing. He's walking around you and he launches the fire breath every time. And then in later levels, in later stages, he has the jumps where he goes, wow. He either releases the shock waves. My most memorable moment with the Bowser fight is the second one. The second time you fight him in the lava world, where he does his jump, and then when he lands,
yeah.
the whole stage goes on. I'm like, oh shoot! Like, dude, that one surprised the heck out of me when he first did that. Wow! He's like, whoa! Like, whoa, 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 whoa! Like, oh, like, dude, that surprised the hell out of me the first time. That was memorable.
I remember that. I remember that encounter.
That was huge. That was cool. And then of course to beat this 3D Bowser, you're not jumping on top of him. There's no fire flower. You gotta grab him by the tail. Swing, Bowser.
The famous swing.
Yep, the famous swing. And you have to hit him on one of the bombs, because if you don't hit him on one of the bombs, he's just going to come right back. He comes right back every time, so you got to hit him on one of the bombs. The first fight is just one. Just one hit, and that's all you had to do. But hey, big time grabbing and swinging, and it's the first time experiencing this. Again, today's time, not as impressive. It's like, but at the time, you got to think like little Jesse is grabbing onto a tail of a big dragon. And Mario's strong
Pretty
as
much
that.
a dragon, yeah, at the time.
Boom, bam. But and of course in future games, Bowser's design gets more and more refined to the iconic Bowser you know today, to his shapes and everything that he's done today. So so that was the beginning of Bowser's biggest presence in the 3D world. And he is a Mount Rushmore. Like I will mention in the future for other episodes, like the Mount Rushmore of like final bosses, like the ones we memorized the most, because they were in so many games, and there were so many. There's so many games that they were in, and they're just memorable because of what their contribution is to the gaming community, for their character, their stories, and movies that come out with certain ones. Did you experience a lot of Mario 64 playing against this Bowser, or not that much?
I remember fighting that Bowser. I remember. I actually, for my dislike for Mario, I've played a lot of Mario, and got into the Bowsers, like their own, the 2D one where you have to jump over him or under him, to knock down the bridge, and the famous the clown, helicopter. Yeah, the clown copter. And even the Mario one, that you mentioned for this week, the 64 one. For some reason, I couldn't. I had a difficult time throwing them to an exact bomb.
It was in the beginning. It was tough.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, I don't know if I'm gonna throw them correctly to the right one or like to a bomb or what, but I did enjoy that one. I think my favorite one is weirdly enough the clown copter one. I actually
Oh,
like
nice.
that one because it was a dodging the little bombs that he would throw and trying to throw them up the correct way. And it was a
Yep.
Super Nintendo Mario, which I actually did like.
Yep.
Um, but
Oh, Mario World as a platformer in general is one of the best
yeah,
platformers
I
ever.
love Super Mario
Yep.
World.
That's a platformer to play. If you haven't played it, play it. That's that dang good.
Yeah, so at least for Mario, as Mario goes, that one is I think my favorite, right next to Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS.
Yeah.
Not,
Oh, I love that game too.
yeah, I love that design, the art design, the very very. I mean, Mario's typically bright colors, but that one I felt was even better with the bright colors. So, yeah, those are my memories with Bowser as a boss
Yep.
battle.
King Koopa. King of the Koopas. The beast, the beastliest boss of final bosses. Not from size and everything, but just from his iconic presence.
Yeah. And yeah, that's our New Year's resolution special episode 2022, bringing in the new year of 2022.
Yep.
We look forward to many more. I enjoyed this past year. This is new for both me, for Jesse and I on a podcast, something that we both wanted to do for a very long time, and it's gonna go down as one of my favorite years just because of being of that of trying something new and continuing it. We're 22 episodes now in a row, strong. We try to plan ahead of time. I am getting married by the time you hear this in 2 weeks. So we'll probably be doing something similar so that we don't miss that weekend as well.
No, we can't
Um,
miss that weekend. No, no, no.
and I'm very looking forward to all the new stuff that we encounter for next year or this year by the time you're hearing this with the
Mhm.
games. We may be doing some new stuff with the channel. We don't know the podcast. We may add we may have a let's play where we record. Jesse beating me up in Mortal Kombat 11, or I'm beating Jesse up in Smash Brothers. Who knows? We
Oh,
don't.
I want that rematch, sir. I want that rematch. I want that.
Who,
I want
who,
it bad.
who knows what we do? We may even have special guests. Finally, we're at that point where we may have a special guest, a family
Yes.
relative, or a friend, or someone that we know that would add to
So
the
down.
conversation. So
So down.
2022 completely open. Jesse and I even don't know what we want to do in terms of expanding, but
We're getting there.
we're getting there. We love everyone that has followed us through this year, our first year as a podcast, as a two guys just living the dream, like what we wanted to do from the start.
Yep.
So I'll let Jesse say his side too, but I'm thankful. That's at the bottom of the line is I'm thankful for all of our viewers, and we love seeing any comments that are directly connected to the show. And then yeah, let us know if we've ever inspired you to play a game because we talked about it, or if there's a game that you're like, hey, I played San Francisco Rush on N64 and I know the cave that he's talking about, or whatever, or hey Jesse, you know what? I actually did like Mortal Kombat
There you go.
Anthology Sub Zero. We want to hear any of that. Um,
Yes, please give us your good give us your opinions, your thoughts. Like, hey, maybe you did love something that I didn't like. Like, hey, maybe there's something I missed. Maybe it'll make me want to replay it or redo it again. Always open to those kind of suggestions as well, and always open to feedback and like, hey, maybe I got into this game because you guys talked about it one or two times and or a couple times. We're looking always forward to feedback. Love doing this every single day. I'm very grateful for beginning this with you, good sir, Mr. McQuack. Very grateful for messaging, let's do it, and all that. And I'm very thankful for taking the plunge. And you're right, we've been consistently on this as many episodes as we can, um, developing something we hope is great for the fans, anyone listening to the first time. If this is the first episode, welcome. If you're returning, you're amazing. You're a boss. Love you. Just keep listening. Um, like to hear all, and I'm always seeing things on Twitter. I know I don't post on Twitter as often as I wish I should, but I still loving seeing everyone's feedback and liking things that I see all the time, and um, love hearing from you guys, and I love hearing from the gaming community, and I'm very thankful for 2021 has been one of my most amazing years, guys. Regardless of pandemic and other things that have been going on, because we know all that's going on. Pandemic is still flaring, still things are going on. Omicron is here and all that. Like it's not out of the woods yet, but I'm still thankful for 2021 for everything that has happened. Thankful for you, sir, and for the fans. So can't wait to do many more of these, and now we'll try to get a full year under our belt and see what goes there, baby. Let's go.
Sounds good.
Get
Yeah.
some.
Uh, look forward to our next week's episode. It's an episode that I'll be very excited to talk about because it is the game of the year discussion. Will be already in 2022, and I think it's appropriate to talk about 2021 and overall in terms of what we played in 2021. And what we believe is the best game that we played in that year. Again, not necessarily. I don't think it'll be like this is the definitive Boss Key podcast game of the year. I think it's just going to be games that we mentioned are game of the year material, and should definitely be played. So look forward. I'm looking forward to talking about that and talking about more of those games, and we'll see you guys on next week's show. And thank you again for getting this far in the show.
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Look forward to speaking with you guys or speaking with you guys soon. Keep everything up active, keep gaming, and here's to a great 2022. I hope, guys, for everybody.
Yeah. So later, you guys.